Hi, I'm Elisa. I've been killing it as a marketing executive at Trendwave for the past 2 years. But success hits different when you've got no one to celebrate with. The corner office with the city view doesn't feel so special when you're scrolling through Instagram alone on a Friday night. I wasn't always the outsider. Back in college, our squad was tight. Me, Cassandra, Mark, Vanessa, Derek, and Natalie. We were inseparable, pulling all-nighters for finals, hitting every party worth attending, and making those "we'll be friends forever" promises that you actually believe at 20. Elisa, you coming to the lake house this weekend? My dad said we can use it for the whole break. Derek had his family money, always throwing it around like confetti. Wouldn't miss it. I'll bring the playlists. Music was my thing back then, before marketing campaigns and quarterly reports. But something shifted senior year. Cassandra and Mark started dating, and suddenly the group dynamic changed. We're thinking of keeping the graduation party small, just close friends. Cassandra didn't look me in the eye when she said it, and I should have seen the warning signs. I was eating lunch alone in my cubicle yesterday when the notification popped up. Natalie had tagged everyone in photos from their weekend in Aspen. Everyone except me. Hey, did you see Vanessa's story? The trip looked amazing? My coworker Kelly had no idea she was twisting the knife. Yeah, looks fun. I couldn't tell her I hadn't been invited. Again. The 9th time this year. I opened my messages, staring at our group chat that had been silent for weeks. How was Aspen? The photos looked incredible. I waited, watching the 3 dots appear and disappear several times. It was super last minute. Cassandra found this deal and we just jumped on it. Natalie always made excuses, playing both sides. Yeah, we figured you'd be busy with work anyway. You're always working. Vanessa's message arrived next, dismissive as always. Later that night, I scrolled deeper through the photos and found one that broke me. They were holding a sign, Annual Tradition Year 3. They'd been doing this trip for 3 years. Without me. My phone rang. It was Derek. Hey, Elisa, long time. Listen, I'm putting together this investment group for a new restaurant concept. Wanted to see if you'd be interested? Funny, you've got time to start a business with me, but not include me in your annual tradition? Come on, don't be like that. It's not personal, it's just what? Just that I don't fit into Cassandra's perfect little world anymore? That I'm good enough when you need something but not to actually hang out with? Silence on the line. Then, you've changed since college. No, I just finally see clearly now. After hanging up, I wiped my tears and opened my laptop. Instead of torturing myself with more social media, I started researching executive coaching programs. If these people couldn't value me, I'd build a life so amazing they'd regret every dinner, every trip, every moment they chose to exclude me. New plan, I whispered to myself. Stop chasing people who don't make space for you. 3 years flew by, and that executive coaching program was the best investment I ever made. I climbed from marketing executive to chief marketing officer at Vertex Tech, one of the fastest-growing companies in the country. My face was on the cover of Business Innovator magazine last month, the woman redefining digital marketing. Not too shabby for the girl they didn't want at their vacation house. I was signing off on our latest campaign when my assistant buzzed me. There's a Natalie Winters online too. Says she's an old friend. My finger hovered over the decline button, but curiosity won. Put her through. Elisa! Oh my God! It's been forever! I saw your feature in Business Innovator. You're absolutely killing it! Thanks, Natalie. What can I do for you? I kept my tone professional, twirling my pen between my fingers. Well, I was hoping we could grab coffee, catch up on old times. Her voice had that familiar nervous pitch I remembered from college whenever she wanted something. I'm pretty swamped these days. What's this really about? A pause. Honestly, I miss you, and things have been rough. Cassandra and Mark's startup completely tanked. They sank everything into this app for luxury pet services. Affluent pause. I saw the launch, and the crash and burn that followed. Yeah, they're practically living off credit cards now. And Derek? His family lost almost everything in some bad investments. His dad had to sell their vacation homes. I suppressed the smile creeping across my lips. That's unfortunate, but I'm still not clear why you're calling after 3 years of radio silence. There's this networking event next weekend at the Hastings estate. It's being hosted by potential investors that could really help Cassandra and Mark bounce back. But we need connections to get in. I pulled up the Hastings estate on my screen, a magnificent historic mansion on the edge of town. Rumor had it the elderly owner was finally selling. The Hastings place is going on the market soon, Natalie continued. Cassandra has this wild dream of buying it when they get back on their feet. Says it would be the ultimate statement piece. Bold dream for someone living off credit cards. I know it's awkward after everything, but you always had this way with people. Could you maybe put in a good word for us with the Vertex investors who'll be there? I tapped my keyboard, pulling up my realtor's number. I'll think about it, Natalie. Send me the details. After hanging up, I called my realtor immediately. Samantha, remember when I mentioned wanting to invest in property? I'm interested in the Hastings estate. What would it take to make an offer before it officially hits the market? It won't be cheap, Elisa. We're talking 8 figures. I glanced at my stock options and recent bonus. I can manage it, and I want to move quickly, very quickly. Any particular reason for the rush? I leaned back in my chair, thinking about Cassandra's face when she found out. Let's just say I'm finally making space for myself where others wouldn't make space for me. That evening, I drove past the Hastings estate, its magnificent columns and sprawling gardens, exactly the sort of place Cassandra would covet for her social climbing. By this time next month, I'd be hosting my own events there, and the guest list would be entirely at my discretion. Sometimes revenge doesn't need to be loud or messy. Sometimes it just needs to be strategic. 2 weeks and one aggressive bidding war later, the Hastings estate was mine. The previous owners jumped at my all-cash offer, and I was reviewing renovation plans when my phone buzzed with a text from Natalie. Did you hear? Someone bought the Hastings place before it even hit the market. Cassandra is losing it. I smiled, typing back. Real estate moves fast these days. That afternoon, I met with Julian, the private investigator I'd hired. He slid a folder across the table. You were right to be suspicious. Your so-called friends have been pretty busy behind your back. I flipped through screenshots of group chats spanning years, conversations I'd never been included in. Elisa would probably kill the vibe anyway. She's always been so intense. Vanessa's message from 3 years ago. God, did you see that pantsuit she wore to the alumni thing? Trying way too hard as usual. Cassandra's reply. Each message felt like a fresh slap. There's more, Julian said. Cassandra and Mark have been actively sabotaging your professional connections. They told mutual friends you take credit for other people's work. That explains why Thomas Chen stopped returning my calls before I joined Vertex. I also found this email from Cassandra to a hiring manager at Lunaris Group when you applied there. The email claimed I'd been fired from a previous position for ethics violations, completely fabricated. I called Natalie that evening, inviting her to see my new investment property. When she walked into the mansion's foyer, her jaw dropped. You bought the Hastings estate? Surprise. But this is the place Cassandra was dreaming of owning? I know. Elisa, this is... wow. I'm planning a housewarming. Going to be the event of the season. Natalie fidgeted nervously. Look, I need to tell you something. All those years, the way they treated you, I knew it was wrong. But you never said anything. I was a coward. Cassandra has this way of making people feel like they need her approval. I was afraid of ending up on the outside like me? She looked down. Yeah. Did you know they were spreading rumors about me professionally? Her silence was answer enough. Get out. Elisa, please. I said get out. 9 years, Natalie. 9 years of watching them tear me down while you stood by. After she left, I finalized my guest list. Every influential person in town, every mutual friend, every connection that mattered to my former friends, all would receive invitations. All except 5 people. The next morning, I watched as the courier service delivered the elegant embossed envelopes throughout the city. The Society columnist had already been tipped off about the mysterious new owner of the Hastings estate and her upcoming soiree. Let the whispers begin. The night of my housewarming party arrived, and the Hastings estate glowed with string lights and champagne fountains. The guest list read like a who's who of local society and business. Everyone who mattered was there. "This place is incredible, Elisa. You've really outdone yourself," said Mayor Wilson, clinking glasses with me. "Thank you. I wanted to make a statement." I spotted Natalie texting frantically in a corner and knew exactly who she was messaging. Right on cue, my security team's radios crackled. "Ma'am, there are 4 individuals at the gate claiming they should be on the list. Cassandra and Mark Harper, Derek Whitman, and Vanessa Torres." "They're not on the list," I replied. "Please remind them this is a private event." I made my way to James Donnelly, the venture capitalist Cassandra and Mark had been desperately trying to pitch for months. "James, I've been meaning to introduce you to Rachel's startup. Her customer retention software would complement your portfolio perfectly." I've been looking for exactly that. Cassandra Harper pitched me something similar, but it seemed underdeveloped. "Speaking of development," I slid a folder his way. "You might find this interesting. Just some research on business ethics in our community." Inside were screenshots of Cassandra and Mark's messages about cutting corners and inflating numbers for investors. James's eyebrows shot up as he flipped through the pages. 20 minutes later, a commotion erupted at the entrance. Cassandra had somehow slipped past security and was now storming across my marble foyer, Mark trailing behind looking mortified. "You think you're so clever, don't you? Buying this place out from under us?" Cassandra's voice carried across the now silent room. "This is a private event, Cassandra. You weren't invited. You're just doing this to spite us. After everything we did for you in college." "After everything you did to me, you mean?" I pulled out my phone. "Should I share the screenshots of you telling hiring managers I was fired for ethics violations? Or the group chats where you all mocked me for years?" The color drained from her face. "You had no right to. I had every right to know who my real friends were." I turned to the stunned crowd. "I apologize for the interruption, everyone. Security will handle this." As they dragged Cassandra away, she screamed, "I'm sorry, okay? Is that what you want to hear? I'm sorry." I looked her dead in the eyes. Too little, too late. 9 years too late. 6 months later, my life had transformed. I'd formed genuine friendships with people who valued me for who I was. My business connections flourished, and I joined 3 nonprofit boards. Meanwhile, Cassandra and Mark's startup officially went bankrupt. Derek had to sell his car to cover debts. Vanessa moved back in with her parents after being passed over for every job in town. I was having coffee with my new friend Diane when Cassandra approached our table, looking humbled in last season's clothes. "Elisa, please, can we talk? I've lost everything. I truly regret how I treated you." I took a slow sip of my coffee. "That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. After all these years, can't you find it in your heart to forgive me?" I stood up, dropping cash for the bill. "Forgiveness is earned, Cassandra, and some debts take more than apologies to repay." As I walked away, the weight of 9 years of exclusion lifted from my shoulders. I didn't need their approval anymore. I had built something better, a life that was genuinely mine. What would you have done if you were in Elisa's position? Was she right to reject Cassandra's apology after 9 years of deliberate exclusion and sabotage? Or should forgiveness be given regardless of how badly someone has treated you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you have taken revenge like Elisa did? Or would you have handled things differently? The line between justified consequences and becoming toxic yourself can be thin. If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button to help others find it too. Subscribe for more stories that explore the complicated reality of human relationships and the difficult choices we all face. Thanks for watching.